Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Mojito movement. It's season 2 now, so we're just churning out the same people from the last series. Apparently, no. I'm joined by Harry. You might remember him from such episodes as episode 5.
Thank you for having me back,
mate. It's good to have you back. I'm excited about this episode, not least because it's new rum. We've gone for the Dead Man's Fingers rum. So if they happen to stumble across this podcast, send me some free bottles of it.
Thank you, Dave. And we've got a new location.
New location,
like
yeah.
Location.
We're on the sofa today. It's a bit more relaxed than being on the high stools at the bar. So new location, new series, new
budget.
New budget, same low budget. But cheers, mate. Let's see what this is like.
Good to see you again anyway. And thanks for having me again. But yeah, we've had this penciled in for a while. I know I've cancelled numerous times, so apologies. But
you're here now.
We're here, and I think it's a good time.
It is, and going by the strength of this mojito, I believe I've done a shot for each time it was booked.
Okay, you're blowing my head off with this as well. Perfect.
A little bit.
Thank you, mate.
A little bit. It's good, actually. It's very nice. So
it's good.
Yeah, for those
well earned, that one.
Very well earned. Very well earned. And if you're a rum connoisseur listening, I can recommend this one. Get yourself on it. Today's episode is not going to be a rerun of the last one. We're not going to go into the history of how we met and how you became what you are. This one is, well, it was at your request, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I think it's such an important message to do and such an important topic. It's going to be all about mental health and how it can impact, how it can come out of nowhere, and more importantly, how you've got through it. Because without speaking for you, it's been a bit of a challenging year, isn't it?
It's been a year. It's been a year for a lot of people as well, I think. But yeah, obviously we've spoken a lot this year, and it's been good kind of with it, but a lot of setbacks. And that's why the podcast was delayed. I thought I need to get to the point where I'm ready to talk properly about it, rather than half-hearted kind of beating around the bush. So I think we're kind of there to let's dive into all sorts of shit and let the chaos begin, I suppose. Yeah,
100%. Well, set the scene then, mate. Let's get into it head first, like you said. What's been going on?
Yeah, it's been a tough one, really. I mean, mental health has always been something I've been quite passionate about. Is obviously the wrong way to say it, but it's meant a lot to me. I work a lot with a charity, the Opposite Mind, and last year it struck me big time out of nowhere. And this year it's definitely kind of crept back with, I'd say, a lot of problems in life and work and a lot of battles.
Has there been like a specific significant trigger, or has it more been like an accumulation of things over time? Because again, I think a lot of people, I know myself included, often you find yourself in a position where you are really struggling and your mental health's really not good, and you almost don't know how you've got there. For me, it's always been just lots of little things stacking up, and each time something goes wrong, you convince yourself that you're handling it, and you're like, it's fine, I'll be all right.
100%. I mean, we'll come back to the question, but it's learning a lot about it and diving into it. We don't celebrate the good enough in life. The good is now getting married, having a holiday, winning the lottery. That's good, apparently, in life.
Big promotion at work.
But good is having a beer with your friend you haven't seen for a few weeks. Good is going to work, you're healthy. Good is seeing your family. That's what we should celebrate, good, but we don't. But when it's the negatives, it's that domino effect of car's broken, can't pay the bills, can't do this, can't do that. And that spirals so fast, rather than the good things of, today I went to work, had this for lunch, saw my friend, did this, had a drink, good day. But we never celebrate it, do we?
No, not at all. And I think you raise a really good point there, because there's that like popular phrase that shit things happen in threes. And when something goes wrong, like everyone, it always comes in threes. And the irony of it is if you actually break that down, even if bad things come in threes, that means that the majority of the time we've got good things coming in swathes. But you're quite right. We don't celebrate the good shit. We don't look at it and go, oh my God, here's a list of things that have been amazing today. We just we very much take it for granted until things are shit. And then it compounds and we get stuck in that everything's shit kind of headspace, and that becomes really all consuming, and it's something I've spoken about with loads of my clients, because there's a big crossover between obviously being a PT and working on your physical health and mental health. And one of the things that I always say to people is if you can get into the habit of at the end of each day, even just finding one positive, one thing that you can go, that was good, or doing one thing a day that makes you feel positive, you can start to stem the flow of feeling like everything is shit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time it's not that everything is shit. It's that one or two things have gone wrong that day and you've allowed it to dominate your view of how the day has gone.
Yeah. And
then when that carries on for a couple of days or a couple of weeks and there's tough things happening all the time, you then convince yourself that your entire life is shit. And it's very easy for us in hindsight, when you are in a better place from a mental health perspective, to reflect back and go, oh yeah, it's never as bad as it feels. Mm-hmm. Obviously in the moment it understandably does feel fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But you're quite right. As I don't know if it's just a British thing. We get labelled as being miserable, so maybe it is just a British thing, but it's certainly a human trait that we don't apply the same level of focus to when things are going well as we do to when things are going bad.
It's obviously a life thing because it's been ongoing, but again, we come back to the social media world of that's made it worse, a million times worse, because my life looks fantastic on social media, and
I mean,
don't
to be
get me
fair,
wrong,
you're always on holiday.
I live a fun life, but I work hard, and it's never as fun as what you think. And I do try and highlight a normal life on social. I'm very open about mental health, and if I didn't, I think you could look at social media in my life and go, fuck me, he lives the dream, it's this and that, but it's not quite like that at all.
We had a really interesting chat because you were chatting to a friend of yours who's obviously big in the football world, goalkeeping wise, obviously doing the border stuff.
To explain the story, I mean, Toby's a good friend, massive, very good goalkeeper, plays in the Baller League. We met through goalkeeper training. We got on. He loves his golf. Like he would do anything for golf. And I gave him a call the other day, and obviously led to our chat. And I said to him, "Oh, you're living the dream." He was at AFC Bournemouth training. He was at the Baller League. He's doing this. He's doing that. And he goes, "I would do anything to go away on holiday and play golf."
Yeah.
While I was in Morocco, and I said to him, "I'd do anything to go and train at AFC Bournemouth's ground." And we just looked at each other like the Spider-Man thing, like this, going,
it became the
thinking like, he wants my life, I want his life, and we both look at each other going, like, what's better? You know, it's always that I want something else, and that's the issue with social media. Is everyone looks to go, they've got this, you've got that, I don't have that. Yeah. So your good isn't as good as someone else's good.
Yeah, exactly, and because social media is a big highlight reel, it really feeds on that human trait of no one. In my opinion, nobody ever achieves their goals and stops.
No.
And a lot of people end up achieving their goal not because that's still the goal, but because they've now moved the goalpost and they want to achieve more, and by definition they end up achieving what the original goal was, but they're not happy at that point because it's now the next thing. We see it with absolutely everything. I mean, I saw it myself with social media, with my TikTok when it started to really grow. I was like, I can't wait to hit 10,000 followers. I didn't even see the day that I hit 10,000 followers. I just checked it one day. I was on like 11.3 and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then you're like, you're never happy at 11.3. I'm not happy. I'm on 22k now. And you speak to people and they go, oh, your page is huge. And you go, yeah, it's doing all right. But in my head, I'm already thinking about like, well, how do I get it to 50k? How do I get it to 100k? And that's the challenge in life is you, even when you have these amazing achievements, we never take that period of time to take a step back and go, what a great fucking achievement that was. Aren't I doing well? Have a pat on the back, because you're already thinking and planning the next thing. I think I've seen obviously being a massive Man United fan, I've seen loads of documentaries about obviously what it was like playing under Ferguson.
Yeah.
And like when they won the treble, half the players were like, when do you want us back in for training, thinking they were going to get a few weeks off, and they're like, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, straight back in.
And it's like you don't get a break, because the minute you get we're kind of conditioned to believe the minute you take time to reflect on your achievements, you fall behind everybody else in the pursuit of the next one. And that's such a hard place to navigate mentally.
It's not sustainable. You can't just keep going. You can't full send 24/7. You can't. And this is where, again, linking back to the mental health of people want to help everyone at the moment. And obviously it is a big thing on social, and it's massive, and it's amazing that it's becoming more known that mental illness is massive. But this is when friends come up. It's not are you okay every 5 minutes? Because this is what drove me mad this year was every day, are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you need help? What do you need? Can I do this? Can I do that? And you feel like a burden because everyone's looking after you too much. It's fake. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to explain what's going on. I just want to have a normal chat with someone. Just a message, go, do you want a beer? Or, did you see United game? That was shit. And you have a laugh.
Thanks.
But, but that's all you need at the time. And like you said there about celebrating your wins, that's when you need your friends just to drop in a message and go, mate, proud of you. Like, what you're doing is amazing. Like, what you've helped me here. And that's what people don't do enough.
Yeah. And again, I think social media is a big factor for that as well, because again, prior to social media, if one of your friends' businesses was doing really well, there were, obviously like business awards and stuff, and people would celebrate successes. They'd be like, oh, you're doing absolutely incredible. But now, because it's perceived that everybody can be an overnight success itself isn't really seen as a big deal. Not only that, I see it all the time with friends, with family members. People are far more likely to share a post from their favourite celebrity who's on 3.4 million followers and absolutely fucking minted than they are to share a post of their friend who's grafting and grinding and sacrificing every hour under the sun to try and build their own business, their own brand. And it's fucking madness.
It's crazy, isn't it? They say it, don't you? If you put a post up and you share it as a story, your post gets 30 likes. Your story's got 1,000 views. So more people are watching you than liking what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that is mental. Everyone knows what you're doing, but no one's interested in supporting it. A click of a button could do wonders for small businesses.
It's absolutely mad. And I think maybe part of it is because unless you're actually utilising social media from a business perspective, people don't realise how it fully works. And maybe that's a part of it. And perhaps there's still a perception from friends, from family, that the only way they can support your business is to spend money with you.
Yeah,
but
it's not.
But actually, in the modern day, it's never been easier to support a friend's business. Like, if you just chucked every post they put up on your story when it comes up, if you just liked and commented on each and every post, it would make a massive difference.
Yep.
Massive.
And this comes back to the helping. And this is what... the messages aren't getting delivered. This isn't just business owners, this is people in a nutshell of just make them feel better. A little comment, a message in the morning is all you need with your people, anyone that's struggling. They don't want to talk about their shitty feelings. They just want a normal life and to be heard. Yeah,
and that feeling of normality is huge. When you are in a dark place, when you are struggling, that feeling of normality is massive. I can't stress enough actually how liberating it is when you have the days where you just feel normal. Because
that's when you celebrate the wins, because suddenly that weight is lifted.
And I think social media does a great job of raising awareness around difficult subjects. I saw a really great I think it was Brighton and Hove Albion actually put out a video really recently, and it was a brilliantly done video. However, if I'm being slightly critical, the bit at the end where he's like, "Are you okay?" and the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He's like, "Are you sure?" And then they kind of walk off and he starts talking and opening up. I get the message that they're trying to put across, and I think people do in general need to reach out to people a bit more if they're exhibiting behaviours that aren't the norm for that individual.
Know when someone's not okay. And that's I can stick by this whenever. You can pick up a sense. And you shouldn't have to poke them to get an answer.
Exactly. And I think sometimes the best way, when you recognise that somebody's not great, the best way almost to handle it is not to necessarily draw attention to it. It's to go out of your way to try and create normality. It's like you said, it's going out of your way to be like, we're going for a beer today. And I see it with like my other half's granddad. He gets a bit like social anxiety and stuff. He's 90. He's doing great for his age. But if you want to get him out of the house, you just tell him that you're taking him out. If you ask him if he wants to go out, you'll get the classic that you always get from the elderly. Oh, no, it would be nice, but don't worry, don't put yourself out. And it's like they almost try and talk you out of it. But if you say, we're going to come round to whatever day it is, we're going to pick you up and take you out. Oh, that'd be really nice. Absolutely. And it's the same approach that needs to be taken when you recognise a friend is perhaps not themselves, rather than making a big deal and be like, mate, are you okay? Do you need to talk? I'm always here if you're struggling. Just be like, mate, Friday, have you got plans? No. Cool, sweet, we're going to go for a beer. Even if it's just the one, we're going to go for a beer, we're going to catch up. And just make it feel normal. Because they're far more likely to come away from that experience feeling better than if you try and make it about understanding what their problems are.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the times is you don't know what your problems are when you struggle with mentally. It could be a million things, and sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah.
So when you're being bombarded with, I'm here to talk, I'm here for you, what's going on, how can we help? You haven't got a bloody clue how to help. Yeah. I don't know.
and again, if unless there's been a specific significant trigger, the majority of the time, when for me personally is probably very similar for a lot of people, when you end up in a place of poor mental health, it's because of an accumulation of things.
Yeah.
So when, what's the problem? Well, actually, it's fucking everything.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm ignoring all of the good. It's just the fact that I don't even know where to pinpoint it, because it's not one thing that's the problem. It's multiple. And I even get days like it now. I'll be sat like watching TV, or I won't necessarily film myself, or I'll be watching something on social media, and I'll just find myself feeling really low, and I'll be like literally just like burst into tears. And I won't know what there won't be a specific reason. It's not like I woke up that day and went, oh, this one thing's really fucking bad, or this one thing has happened and that's why I feel that way. It's just you have days where things will get on top of you.
100%.
And in those moments, the thing that can help the most is it's normality. It's people just being themselves and just being like, hey, this is going on.
Yeah.
Let's fucking do it. And yeah, and I think it's really important, because like I said, social media's done a great job of raising awareness and encouraging people to talk. But sometimes the best course of action isn't necessarily to talk. In fact, in the last series, I had Paul Mort on. Amazing business coach, amazing person in general, speaks very openly about failed suicides and having bipolar and stuff. And one of the things that actually really stuck with me that he said is, it's not about talking, it's about taking action. And if you only ever encourage people to talk, you run the risk of falling into the pity party, where it's just, here's all the things that are wrong and here's all the things I'm struggling with. But you've got to take action. I even wrote an email similar to this the other day. If you're not on my email list, you're fucking missing out. It was an absolute belter. But I spoke about when I used to manage a team of people, and I would have people serially underperforming in a job that I knew was fucking piss easy, because I'd done it myself for like 4 years and it was a piece of piss. And you'd say to them, why aren't you doing very well? Oh, it's the CRM's fucked. It's this is too many clicks. This is too slow. This is a problem. This is a problem. And you'd go around and you'd fix things, and then there'll be another problem, and then another problem. And
it's deflection.
Yeah, and
that's all it is.
Unless you're prepared to take action, i.e. find solutions, talking just becomes moaning.
Yeah.
And that's not me saying if you're struggling with your mental health, you shouldn't talk to people. You absolutely should.
Yeah, 100%.
But you also need to be prepared that in order to bring yourself out of a poor spate of mental ill health, you've got to take action beyond talking. Talking is the first step, but that's not the step that's actually going to change it. You've got to find things that you can do that will actually bring about positive change.
Yeah, it's how you get yourself out of it and what works for you.
Yeah.
Different things work for different people depending on what's happening kind of in there. But yeah, it's picking up your kind of trigger points of where it happens, and that's where, again, to kind of come back around where I first knew was at the start of the year. I had my friend Stag do, and I got into an altercation, and I'm the most calm bloke ever. Like, literally,
yeah, like, that's really out of character for you, to be fair.
I did.
You laugh at everything.
I'm the happiest man, and I'll do anything for anyone. And yeah, I got into a fight, and after the fight, I bursted in tears because of it, because I felt so bad.
Did you win?
No. I got a few helping hand from others, but we'll bypass that. But this isn't me at all. I'm not a fighter with anything at all, and it's horrible. It's happened, and I was so upset about the whole thing. Yes, okay, I had one too many drinks, but it blew my mind, and the next day I thought something's not right. Yeah. Like, for that to happen, then things, as you said, the domino effect, the spiral effect happened, sadly. I broke my shoulder playing football, so that was a huge hit. I couldn't play golf all year, couldn't teach, couldn't drive, couldn't go to the gym. I had no outlet. I was sadly involved in a breakup at the time. Business partner left the clothing. Yeah. And things are spiraling kind of month by month, thinking, fuck, how are we here? And then obviously you had to jump, and we've had this chat, say, being diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 32.
That's right, I got diagnosed like 2 weeks ago at the age of 37.
But life made so much more sense since it's all happened. And I would never want to relive this year, but what's come out of it the other end, fuck me, I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed that reset and go, I've got to look at my life here, and I've got to look at
I think that's
what's triggering my issues and why all these things have happened and how can I improve. And I'm not there yet at all, but Christ almighty, where I am over the year, it's been quite remarkable, and hopefully I've helped a lot of people on the way as well.
Yeah.
Which is obviously what I've always wanted to do and been quite open and honest about it.
I think you and I are quite fortunate in that when we're going through periods of poor mental ill health ourselves, because of what we do, people always use the phrase, there is no such thing as a selfless act.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe it, that there's not really such thing as a selfless act. We're really lucky in the position that we're in, that even when we're struggling, because we coach people, we work with people, we help people,
mm-hmm.
that can do wonders for us.
Yeah.
In the same time, because even when you feel like your life's going to shit, it only takes one person to be like, hey, you've really helped me achieve this, and this is the knock-on effect, and you suddenly go, it's pretty fucking cool.
But that's also the thing, isn't it? A lot of people that struggle with mental health are the nicest, happiest, most giving people.
Yeah.
Because they have to have that to feel loved.
Yeah.
And that's why the way that I am. Because I'm not happy in myself, that I have to give and give and give, and that's what makes me feel happy.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
That is it. It's mad, isn't it, to think, and it's
but
sad.
Again, part of that is probably an ADHD thing. So
mm-hmm.
I have RSD, so rejection sensitivity dysphoria, which basically means that I will take everything personally,
mm-hmm.
whether it's personal or not. I will literally
That's your first thought, isn't it?
Something will happen, and I'll be like, well, that's obviously a reflection of me.
Mm-hmm.
What did I do wrong? And it's been like it since certainly my teens. I don't really remember. I remember lots from my childhood when I was young, but I don't remember like those feelings of struggling with like rejection and stuff when I was young. But certainly through my teens, massively,
mm-hmm.
and it's stuck with me forever. And again, I think it plays into massively why I am the way I am in terms
mm-hmm.
of being a coach, being driven to help people, is because I know I need to feel wanted. I
mm-hmm.
need to feel validated. I need to feel like I'm doing a good job with whatever it is. And coaching has been one of the best things I've ever moved into, because I can throw myself into helping other people, and the nice thing that comes off the back of it is people say things like they really needed my help.
Yeah.
And that validates me massively. But the two things are really heavily linked. And again, this is only something that I started to learn about when I started to think, well, maybe I've got ADHD. Obviously, mm-hmm. I've had counselling and therapy and stuff, obviously the battles that I've had with my mental health and with depression, anxiety and stuff. And I started to realise probably late 20s into my early 30s that I had like attachment and abandonment issues because mm-hmm. of stuff that I'd been through, like through my teens and stuff. Mm-hmm. What I didn't understand at the time is that that's all triggered because of having RSD.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's predominantly caused by having ADHD. And the one of the nicest experiences I've had with getting a diagnosis was the assessment. Obviously I went to my GP, and for someone with RSD this was the worst outcome possible. Went to my GP nearly 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I think I've got ADHD. I'm worried it might be autism. My brain doesn't work properly. What can I do? And she was like, we'll start with ADHD. Mm-hmm. Here's the forms. Fill this in as honestly as you can, and if you get a certain score, we can refer you on. Yeah. And I got full marks. I got better than full marks, because on the question where it said you make mistakes with tasks you find mundane and boring, I made a fucking mistake with the answer. So I was like, I've done better than full marks. Went back to my GP with it, and I was like, I have aced this test.
Yeah, you nailed it.
And she was like, couple of questions. Was it ever raised when you were a child at school that you had ADHD? I was like, not really.
But obviously you're slightly older than me, but
it's only slightly.
It wasn't ever a thing.
Well, no.
Unfortunately,
when
we
we
were
kid
at
that
school,
we had at school that had ADHD went down. He was headbutting windows and like getting in fights with teachers.
It was extreme, wasn't it? Which obviously still happens, sadly, but there's so many borderline things that you're almost ignored.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of it's in your head.
I was just a chatterbox, according to the teachers.
Yeah.
I was a pleasure to teach in the subjects I liked, and I needed to concentrate more in the stuff that I wasn't overly fussed about.
But that's it. But that's not picked up on. So
yeah, that's
it there. There's
in
your
a nutshell.
big alarm bells straight away.
So I've gone to my GP and I've been like, cool, I reckon this is going on. Done the forms, and I'm like, this is great. I almost, in that moment, I was like, brilliant. I feel validated. And my GP went, oh well, it wasn't flagged at school, so I'm not going to refer you.
Yep.
And I was like, ooh. Yep. Someone with RSD being told that you're not going to get what you want, and you're like, great. So then I waited a year and I went back to my GP and I was like, this is getting worse. Like being self-employed is a fucking dream with certain things. When you realise you've got ADHD and you're self-employed, it's a fucking blessing and a curse in equal measure. As an employed person, I was very good at not doing the stuff I didn't want to do. But also, there's no knock-on effect if I don't really do it. If I can justify the reasons for why I didn't do something, I'm good.
Do the bare minimum, really, isn't it? Yeah, being paid, it's all right. I'll get away with that.
But when you're self-employed and there's a fucking mountain of shit that needs to be done, and you're the only one that can actually do it, and you spend your year putting it off, not so great.
No,
not so great. So fast forward. Obviously, a year later, went back to my GP, and she was like, "I'll refer you," and that was in February last year. May last year, I get a letter. You've been referred. We're severely understaffed. Yep. We'll be in touch.
There's a big waiting list at the moment, years and years. Although there is a way now where you can speed up the process.
Yeah. So this is what I ended up doing. So I phoned them in August and contacted my GP, and I was like, "Any update?" And they said, "You have to speak to the service you've been referred to." So I phoned them, and the woman was like, "You're on the list. I can see you're on the list." And I was like, "Any idea of timescale?" She was like, "Definitely it won't be 2025." And I was like, "When you say it's 2026, is it actually, or could it be longer?" And she was like, "Hopefully."
They don't know, did they?
Yeah, exactly. She ain't got a fucking clue. And I was like, right, okay. So I then did the NHS right to choose thing.
That's the one. Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. Found a place in Devon. My GP referred me. Within a few days, I was sent the forms, filled the forms in. Within a few days, had an appointment. 2 hours on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
At the end of it, the guy's like, "You've got it," and I'm like, "Thanks, man."
But how much better did you feel when you found out you had it? And I know that sounds really strange, doesn't it? Because obviously, not that it's a disease, no one wants it, but at the same time, it's almost, for me, it was like, fuck me, that's why I'm different.
Yeah,
that's it.
It was like a weight got lifted. I felt a bit weird to begin with. I felt a little bit weird because I was kind of like, I don't know, like for ages I always used to say to people, I've got ADHD. I'm pretty sure I have. But it was the first few hours I was a bit like, this is really strange. But I felt so good knowing that I wasn't making it up. Because
you are different, and that's why you're different.
And it's one of the things that you probably experienced it as well prior to diagnosis, because you do so many things that you don't really realise that you're doing, and you can't stop yourself from doing, like getting up every day and being convinced that by 10 a.m. you're going to have achieved all these things that should only take like 2 minutes to do.
Mine's the opposite.
Is it?
I'm the other end of the spectrum, so mine is full throttle. So if I start a job, I have to finish it.
I'm
the other end of that.
Yeah.
So, but I always, if you give me a job, I'll do it 3-4 times as quick as anyone else, and go, why can't you do it? Like, that's it. And then what's the next job? And that's obviously why the business is with me. It's going, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm bouncing around like a bloody bouncy ball in a room.
Yeah.
And
that must be exhausting in exactly the same way. Like, for me, it's exhausting because I have a list of things that I want to do that are all really fucking simple things to do, and then it's like 3:00 in the afternoon, and you're like, I've got to start one of these things at some point.
I can't start the next task until I finish the first one. So that's the exhaustion. So I'm late to everything because I'm doing this and doing that. I'll wake up at 2-3 in the morning and go, I need to hoover the lounge. And I've got to hoover the lounge.
Yeah.
I can't not do it because it will just drive me
Now
insane.
It makes perfect sense that this has taken literal months to get in. I think the first date we booked in for this episode was like March.
It was a little while ago, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, things needed to settle down with me. That's the honest truth of kind of learning about it. But yeah, it's good to do it and get it in there, but it's good to learn. So obviously I've jumped through the counselling side and learning loads and hopefully trying to share my knowledge a bit more. But I mean, it's opened up so many doors now.
Yeah.
You know, again, with the cliche of one door closed, another opens, and it does. You've just got to go through a load of doors until you find some good doors.
Yeah, until you find a door that goes into a room rather than a corridor. But you raise a good point there in terms of obviously like obviously therapy, counselling and stuff. So what's been your experience in because obviously for me I've done traditional counselling, I've done CBT, I've done a bit of everything. What's been your experience so far this year? What type of counselling have you done?
I went straight away private counsellor, just needed to talk to somebody, and I knew that from early on this year, from the issues I had with the kind of start. Relationship came to an end, which crushed me this year, like absolutely hammered me. So I had a lot to deal with, from not just necessarily that one, but kind of the past of things. Why aren't things working? What's wrong with me? Type of thing. Really lost all self-confidence. So I had to work on it, and then the injury hit, and it was like, fuck me, my life is gone. I've got nothing kind of here now. So I did that, and we were going every week, and I really enjoyed it because we're really digging into what was wrong.
It becomes really cathartic, doesn't it, when you're in more traditional therapy, where it's it's talking therapy. It's once you get over the first few sessions and you get used to the fact that you are going to have to dig up all of the painful stuff, it becomes a really cathartic, therapeutic thing. Like it for me, when I was going through that more in-depth therapy, after the first few sessions I was fucking wiped out after each one, really, really low after each one. Once I was sort of 3 or 4 weeks in, it was almost like going, like when you go for a massage or something, you come out afterwards and you just feel like your chest is up and that weight is lifted, and it's such a powerful thing. And I think you definitely have to be in the right place to approach that kind of therapy.
Yes. You have to be open to it, because as you said, you're digging into a lot of shit, and obviously it's led to having a lot of different conversations with like my mum and my brothers and my best friends to say, look, I'm doing this is why I'm doing it, this is how I feel, and this is what I've kind of been doing to myself, and this is what's been going on lately. And it's to tell people that close what's happening is you feel like a burden. It's almost embarrassing at times, but fuck me, it helps. Again, when you get it off your chest to go, no, this is it, this is what's going on, if I don't change it, there's going to be a problem. And
again, I think the point that you raised there is really important to raise in general for people, is that being proactive in terms of informing people of where you're at, how you're feeling, what you're going through, but doing it in a proactive manner in terms of, and this is what I'm going to do to address it. So many people don't have those conversations because of exactly what you said. They feel like they're going to be a burden. They feel like they're going to be judged, or they're going to worry people unnecessarily. But they're such important conversations to have, because unless you can fully accept it and admit it to yourself, you'll never be able to admit it to other people. So if you can have that conversation with somebody, particularly those who are close to you, and you can do it in a way that's not, it's not a pity party, it's not feel sorry for me, it's proactive. That's a significant part of the healing process. So again, I think a lot of people become quite insular, and they become very introverted when they're not feeling well mentally. And actually, one of the best steps that you can take is being able to proactively say to somebody, hey, do you know what, I'm not in a good place. And even if you don't have the answers, even if you don't know what you're going to do about it, being able to say, hey, do you know what, this is where I'm at, and just ask for advice. What do you recommend? Where do you think what should I do next? It's such an important conversation to have. And I don't think there's anybody out there that you would, if you feel comfortable enough to turn to them, that would turn around and approach it in a negative manner.
This is it. But I think a lot of people don't know, and this is the most upsetting thing I had, is my family and friends didn't know how sad I was, because you disguise it, don't you? You know, I'm a happy person, you crack on, and having those chats was quite upsetting to actually explain. I'm so sad and I don't know why. Like live a good life. You know, I'm in the golf world, I'm in the football world, I'm doing things that everyone wants to do, but I'm absolutely miserable. And it's tough to tell somebody that, but when it comes out of your mouth, you learn. And you're going, okay, well, how do we change this then? What do I need to do, and what can you do to bring it up? Recognition
and acceptance are the bedrock of bringing about positive change. Because if you can't accept it, and if you can't recognise that it's happening, you won't be able to change it anyway. but they're the hardest bits to get through, because you ultimately will be sat having to battle all of those thoughts of there's something wrong with me.
Yep.
I'm not right. I'm broken. And you have to really sit with those thoughts, and you have to really kind of accept that it's valid, it's justified, but also it's okay.
Yeah.
Because you won't improve it until you get past that point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always a part that particularly when I was a lot younger, I struggled with. I don't know about you. The first time I ever really battled with my mental health, I'd gone through some awful shit with family member and stuff. It was fucking absolutely brutal. It was absolute hell. But the entire time I was in that situation, I actually handled it really, really well. But what didn't necessarily help is in my late teens into my early 20s, I'd been very successful very, very quickly with like work and
mm-hmm.
relationships and stuff. And we probably all have it when we're young, but I had this feeling of invincibility.
Yeah.
And even when all this shit was going on, I was still doing really well with work. Like nothing was being affected.
Yeah, you're just cracking on.
And I was like, I can beat fucking anything. I can fucking handle anything you throw at me. And really similar to you with this year, I then tore my cruise ship playing football. And I was playing Saturdays and Sundays, and I was playing 6-a-side on like a Tuesday and a Friday. And tore my cruciate ligament, 12 weeks on crutches, couldn't drive, bedbound, leg completely immobilised from the hip to the ankle.
Literally straight away, you've lost fitness, you've lost your passion, you've lost your love, you've lost your life get out. Yeah,
insane.
Mm-hmm.
And I've spoken about it loads on previous episodes and previous podcasts and stuff. For me, being a goalkeeper was like, it was a bit like we spoke about last time in terms of playing golf. Having those moments where I'm doing something, but I can also rationalise my thoughts was huge. It was fucking huge. I used to love 90 minutes, spending most of the time on my own,
mm-hmm.
having conversations with myself, probably seeming like I'm fucking mental to everyone around me. But I was just dealing with shit. I was just being able to process it without putting all my thought and effort into actively thinking about it.
But that's also ADHD.
Yeah.
Most goalkeepers have ADHD.
Yeah. Well, who else is going to want to actively get in the way of people kicking a fucking football?
But it's that you're comfortable with your mindset.
Yeah.
Every goalkeeper is comfortable on the football pitch. Anyone with ADHD is comfortable with that. It's a bit like musicians. A lot of them, again, people have Tourette's and things are incredible, aren't they? Playing musical instruments, because their brain is focused on something else, so the triggers don't happen.
Yeah.
And it's remarkable. Like I said, you play a football pitch, not worried about work, not worried about life. You're having so much fun. You're bashing your head against the post because you're angry.
Yeah.
But life is on hold, and they're the things you have to do when you're struggling.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do it because you'll wake up in the morning and go, "Nah, I'm all right today." You've got to drag yourself out. Running, fitness, huge, diet, huge.
Yeah.
And that's obviously where your expertise is. Yeah, if you're not getting out and about with any mental health illness, you're not going to get better. And that's the biggest thing I'll tell anybody. Yeah,
the two things are massively linked. And again, the advice that I always give to clients that I've worked with over the years that have been struggling is, it doesn't need to be a massive grand gesture. It doesn't need to be that you're in a poor state of mental health and that you now need to eat the most clean diet and you need the most active routine. Going outside for 5 minutes.
Yep. But 5 minutes on day one turns into 6 minutes day two, that turns into etc.
Do one thing each day that will make you feel better.
Yep.
That is some form of activity. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be so small. It can be just making yourself a coffee and just sitting and listening to your favourite song.
And that comes back to celebrate the goods. That's a good thing. I've had a good coffee. I've listened to my favourite song. That's a good part of life.
Obviously, we both know a good friend of ours, Pete Longley.
Yep.
So I've worked with Pete for a long time. And when he first came to me and said, "Mate, I need some help," he was, and he won't mind me sharing this story at all. He was very, very overweight, and he'd become so consumed by his anxiety that he couldn't leave the house. So he said, "Mate, I really, really need your help." And I was like, no questions asked. You're a good friend, known you for fucking years and years and years. Happy to help. How can I help? I was like, let's go for a coffee. And I've never seen him in the state that he was in. We went for coffee. We went to pool. I picked him up from his place. Drove. He couldn't relax the entire time we were there. He took about 2 sips from his coffee. He just could not relax being out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was in a really, really bad place with his mental health. And the approach that we took was once a week was getting him out of the house for 5 minutes.
Yep.
And like, if you see him now, obviously, yeah, he's lost loads of weight. He's done absolutely amazing from that perspective. But the biggest thing is his job now. He's been doing door-to-door fundraising for the air ambulance.
Yeah.
Like literally out like 9 hours a day on his feet, knocking on doors, talking to people.
Strangers. Yeah.
And yet you go back a year or so ago, just coming up to it for a couple of years ago, he couldn't even go and have a coffee with a mate.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that we got there was not by trying to change things. It wasn't by trying to make dramatic improvements overnight. It was by saying, mate, we're just each day 5 minutes.
Something, yeah.
Just even if it's walking to the end of your driveway, go out of your house and come back in.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's the biggest piece of advice I can give anyone listening to this is just do just a little something.
Yep.
And let it compound, because we get stuck in negative spirals, but we can get stuck in positive ones as well. If you get into the habit of prioritizing doing things that make you feel good, you'd be amazed at how much difference it makes.
Yeah.
Like we've all played the mini punch game, right? The yellow car game, right? Where you're in the car with your mates, and if you see a yellow car or a mini, you get to punch the person next to you if you call it first.
Yeah.
When you look for those things, they're fucking everywhere.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's the same with life, with mental health. What you see is what you look for.
Yeah.
If you spend your time looking for positives,
you
will find a lot more positives. And I know it's so easy to say that from a place of privilege, in that I'm in a reasonably good mental health space at the moment. But the only way you can truly bring yourself out of a poor state of mental ill health is making that conscious decision to focus on the positives.
Yep. And it's also that it's getting people to spread the positivity, because that's contagious. It's if you're dealing with people that are consistently negative, that again drags everyone else into it. Yeah. So it is, when you're trying to help people, it's just little positives here and there. Tell people again, that's good, this is good, not the negative all the time.
Yeah.
That
100%.
seems to be the way of life at the moment. There's always something that's not good enough, rather than this is good. Everyone's
striving for that unachievable level of perfection, and that relentless pursuit for something you're not going to achieve does way more harm than good for the majority of people, because you just spend your life feeling inadequate and unable to achieve a level of adequacy that society should be happy with. It's mad. It really is mad, but it's where we're at the moment, isn't it, with it as a society? And again, the best thing you can ever do is take that conscious decision to prioritize yourself.
Well, life's hard. Life's fucking hard, and life's gonna get harder, sadly, year by year. Bills and tax and whatever. I'm not a politician at all, but life is difficult. People are struggling, but we're not finding enough positives of why we're here. I think it's this scenario that you hear all about. We're not here for very long, are we? When we're not, and that's the reality. But we're always looking ahead of the future. It's what was good today. How can we make tomorrow good? How can I make today better? Celebrate that win.
It's a constant delayed gratification that people convince themselves of, where they say, "I'll be happy when I've got this. I'll be happy when I achieve this. I'll be happy when I look like this."
But the also truth line, you might not get there.
Yeah,
and it's horrible. This is the most blunt thing I'll ever say, but you might be dead tomorrow.
Yeah,
and that is I love it, because you might be.
Yeah.
So what have you done today? I think, would life be better if we knew when we die? What do you reckon? If you had the expiry date and said this, I think people would live so much better lives.
100%.
Because they go, I've got this amount of time left. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Well, relating it back to fitness, you've only got to look at, and this isn't doing myself an injustice with the way that I work, but if you look at physique competitors who've got a set date and time that they need to be in a certain condition, they do whatever it takes to get in that condition by that time. I prefer working with people on a more lifestyle basis, but the trade-off is it's a much slower process because you've got all the time in the world.
But we don't.
But but exactly. But if you flip that on its head and you look at things and you go, well, actually, if you only had 24 weeks to get in great shape, you'd work a fuckload harder than if you had the rest of your life to do it. And that's not me saying that I'm going to completely flip my coaching business on its head and I'm now going to become a prep coach, because I don't. But it's a great analogy in this instance that if we knew how long we had, most people would spend less time sweating the small stuff and focusing on trying to make sure they do the things that are important. They would see the people
Absolutely,
that matter the most. They would get the experiences. They would travel. They would try the food. They would drink the drink. They it would massively positively impact people.
How much better would the world be with that mental attitude of life?
Yeah,
everyone would be happier and calmer.
The irony of it is that's all anyone ever wants. But like, irrespective of who you are, whether you're a world leader or an average Joe like us, when it all boils down to it, what do you want to get out of life? You want to just enjoy your life. You want to have a nice life.
Just want to have fun, don't you?
Yeah, just
spend time with your friends and family. That's what it is, doing exciting activities.
But people get so caught up in chasing whatever it is, whether it's societal suggested like success or whether it's their own personal desires, whatever it is, people get so caught up in I won't be happy until and it's like, well, what happens if you don't get there?
That's it.
Why put your and it's part of the reason why, you know, I'll never be able to be a religious person. I can't understand the concept of dedicating this life to pave the way for a better one in the next life, when the next life's not even guaranteed. You don't know that you're going to get that. You've got faith in it.
That's obviously what they believe in, isn't it? So I each to their own on it. I'm not religious at all, but obviously that is the belief, and they may be right. So when we go and we haven't done that, we could be coming back as a cat or a seagull or something, couldn't we? Who knows?
Here's depending on which religion you believe in. If you believe in the more Christian doctrines, the luxury that we have is you've only got to show remorse and repent, and you're all good. So, but my point there is, again, I feel like there's a lot of people who they seek that delayed gratification, and religion is almost like the most magnified version of it, where people are willing to sacrifice the life that they are living in this moment in the hope that it paves a better life in the next life, which is fine. If you take comfort from faith, it's not a problem. I'm not here to judge, but I would much rather live in the moment and have the best fucking time now. Yeah. Because nothing else is assured. Nothing else is guaranteed.
No, we've all lost friends early and family members early, and sadly it happens all the time, and it will continue. Exactly. We can sit here and it will, and obviously it comes back to people taking their own life, which is the worst thing about it. Yeah.
And again, for you and I as men under the age of 50, statistically, if we're to lose our life before the age of 50, it's
suicide.
Is the way that we are most likely to go. And as somebody who's attempted and failed before, thankfully, I know that that's all too real. And again, I think that's probably given me the perception that I have in terms of I am going to try and live my life on my terms. I am going to try and do what I can, and I'm very lucky with what I do, professionally. But part of that is born and driven out of the simple fact that I know firsthand that had certain decisions gone different ways, we wouldn't even be having this chat.
Absolutely.
We wouldn't have even
vice
met.
Versa, isn't it? Yeah.
From that perspective, and again, it's not that people should need to hit that point of desperation to have an appreciation for life, but if you can take anything from somebody who's been through it and hit that lowest point and tried to find an escape, it's fucking enjoy what you've got.
Yeah.
Enjoy, even when things are shit. There's still a positive to be found. There are still good people around you. There are still experiences to be had. There are still ways that you can change your narrative.
Yeah, and I think it's that they say there's a lot of things out there that when people sadly obviously take their own life, it's the pain doesn't go, you pass it on.
Yeah.
And that's massive. That, like, when I saw that and thinking that, okay, I do understand why people take their own life, and that sounds very strange. I do get it when people need to leave. But you don't think about the impact that actually does have on friends and family.
There's a brilliant lyric to a NoFX song, and it's rare that you can use a punk band as a sort of a yardstick.
But I think you can. I think a lot of the rock punky songs, like Linkin Park, Numb, like that was a cry for help. Yeah, straight up there, and everyone ignored that. Avicii was a massive one. Yeah. That's my style of music, and he was calling for help for years. Yeah. Through his music.
There's a brilliant line in a NoFX song. It just says, "Suicide isn't painless when you leave everyone in pain," and it's true. It's true. The sad thing about suicide is that individual feels like there is no other option.
Yeah.
There is no other way out. And the worst bit about it is, not only do they feel like that, but when they take that course of action, everyone else is left with the pain that comes from losing somebody, and the guilt for not recognizing it, and not being able to do anything. And again, there's an element of, obviously from my own experience of it, when I was in that moment, there wasn't really anything that anybody could do. I felt like that was the option. So for me, it wouldn't, if it had have been successful, it wouldn't have been a case of me wanting friends or family to feel guilty about it, because actually, do you know what? In that moment, there was nothing anybody could have done anyway.
Yeah.
Even if I said.
Well, you get to the point, don't you? Of if it's, you don't necessarily go out your way to kill yourself. It's actually you get to the point where you don't care if you're here anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest upsetting thing of you. Yes, okay, some people do obviously go out the way to do it, but you do things that you think, well, I don't care. What will be now, and you just lose all hope and care for life and love.
Yeah,
and
that's
it.
I think there's probably, and again, there may be more than just the two sort of realities, but I think from my perspective, you fall into one of two camps when you get to that point. It's either that hopelessness, that sense of despair, that, do you know what, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Or you're in the group of people where you feel like that is your only option. You feel backed against the wall. And I think both of those scenarios are an awful place for any individual to be. And again, anyone listening to this, if you're in that position or you feel like you're heading in that way, the biggest piece of advice that I can give is, firstly, if you're in the group of people where you feel like it's your only option, it 100% isn't the only option. And there are so many things that can be done, and the first step is to talk to somebody. Yes, you then need to take action afterwards, but it's positive action. It's not the kind of action that at the moment your brain is perhaps conditioning yourself to believe is the only action you can take. And if you're in the group that you and I have both been in, where it's that hopelessness, it's that despair, it's that nobody would care if I wasn't here, I don't really care if I don't wake up tomorrow kind of headspace, again, it's, whilst that may be how you feel in that moment, it's not a true reflection of reality, and the people around you would fucking care. And as much as you say yourself you don't care, and you wouldn't care if you didn't wake up, 100% it's better to wake up and be in a shit headspace than to not wake up at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. And before people chirp in with, well, hold on a minute, you've never not woken up, so how would you know? I've come out the other side of it, and I've never been more grateful for
every day opens up opportunities, doesn't it? And to kind of spin that, it's obviously what's happened on the spin-off. I mean, you and I have come massively closer over the last few months from obviously sharing the stories about what we've done, and obviously being good friends anyway, but obviously we got you back involved in football, and what a help that was for both of us. Obviously I've gone into the management side, and that's opened up at least a new life for me. You're back, you're healthier than ever, you're fitter than ever. You know, you've got that purpose and goal back, and we've really got on close. We chat most days now. I've met so many great people. See Rob, that hopefully will be on the show soon. What a bloke he is, you know, that we've come across, and I've gone into other avenues of ladies football now, and some of them have already become such close friends and family. I've been there a month. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't have had those opportunities if I didn't go through this. And it's thankful that you battle down, you fucking help everyone else out, and go, here's a new start. Like, here's new opportunities that I wouldn't have had at the start of the year or last year.
And you make such a valid point. Things can change in the blink of an eye.
I didn't think this 2 months ago. 2 months ago when I kept cancelling, fuck me, I was still down and out.
Most people think that things can change in the blink of an eye in a negative, and they use it in a negative way. Make the most of today, because you don't know when it will be over. Things can change so quickly, but do you know what? Things can change positively so quickly. Like this last year for me, from a business perspective, has been one of my more tougher years in business. It's been really hard in comparison to previous years. That being said, end of August through to September has been much better. Now, I was convinced that the year was just going to rumble on as it had.
People are quick, aren't they? To say, it's a shit year, it's a shit day, and then they write it off.
It can turn so quickly in either direction. And again, I think when you have that understanding, you appreciate the good when it's there, and you also panic less when the shit things happen, because things can change in an absolute instant. Like, people can be going through a shit situation, they can be feeling really, really rubbish about themselves, in a really low headspace, feel no self-worth or whatsoever, and then you might just cross paths with somebody. And suddenly your whole world can change. And it's not like necessarily from a romantic perspective, but you just meet people and you go, this is what I was here for, this is my purpose, this is what I'm doing. And again, simple things like you just alluded to. I didn't play football for 3 years. Obviously I wound up the football team I used to run, did that for just short of 10 years, went to go and sign for a new team, dislocated my shoulder, very similar to what you've had this year. Was then missed an entire season, was then getting back into playing, and that's when I got diagnosed with POTS, and I couldn't play football.
But that was your love, that's your passion.
And I kept throwing myself into it, thinking it would get better, and I was playing 6-a-side, and I would go down and I'd be like, I'm available this week, and I'd be going dizzy and like nearly passing out in games, and getting to the end of a match and just be like led on the floor, and the lads would be like, you okay? And I'm like, I'll be fine. Like, just
I remember you back at the Bournemouth ground when we played the 6-a-side tournament. You were down and out, you were rough after that, because you pushed and pushed. And
the thing is, I felt really, that was actually meant to be my farewell, that was meant to be my retirement, and I felt really good the whole day, but by the end of it I was like, we got knocked out in the semis to Poole Town, and I was like, it's probably a good thing, because I would have been even more fucked. And I just resigned myself, like, I'm not going to be able to play again. And then I stupidly played 6-a-side a few months later after retiring, and I broke my foot, and I was like, right, that's it, we're never playing again. That was last summer. And then we were just having a chat in one of my golf lessons, and you're like, Verwood are really struggling for a number one. And I was like, I could do it.
Came to training, didn't you? But I think that was the first thing, what we said, come to training and just get involved. Like, we had we still do have a great bunch. Obviously I'm not at Verwood anymore, but what little goalkeeping unit we created in there, and you came in, you fit in so well, and you enjoyed it, and it was okay, well, I just want to get back fit, and it was just get involved. You're training, you're turning up, you're having a beer, you're socialising, and look, you've now
the irony is true to form. I turned up for training on the Thursday, loved it, and was like, I think I've got the buzz back. Played on the Saturday in a friendly for 45 minutes against Christchurch, played well, really enjoyed it. I was like, I'm fully back. And then the following Tuesday I tore my quad, and what I thought was going to be like a 2 or 3 week quad strain turned into 4 months.
It's a good job you're good looking, mate, isn't it? Like, it is. Got, like, your glass body, it's alright, just
isn't it just? But the thing is you can look at it one of two ways. The last time I had a serious injury, it stopped me playing. Obviously dislocated my shoulder, stopped me playing, and I didn't feel like I necessarily missed football, and I had a lot going on in that moment, so I kind of I coped with it quite well. But if I go back to my 20s, I tore my cruciate and I was out for 6 months, and that was the catalyst for my mental health to fucking plummet. And I did struggle after folding the football club and then picking up the injury, because it was a big change. I went from my life was dominated by football to, it was great having my weekends free, but
it's a big life reset. Because that was your life for years and years, and obviously nice to have the time back, because you're going, fuck me, like, it's a full-time job alone dealing with your team, but you build that family and the trust, and that's your hobby. And then when you don't have it, 1 week, 2 weeks is great.
And I also think what made it worse is I was due to sign for Rushmere, who went and did a league and cup double 2 years in a row. Half the lads from Wimborne went on to Westover, who did league and cup doubles 2 years in a row. So I'm sat there having done 9.5 years of running my own team, where we won fuck all and never achieved our potential.
What do you think the common denominator is there, Paul? What do you reckon?
Colour of the kit.
Oh no!
but
Westover's still playing red, actually. But,
so the Rushmere, red and black. But
moving on.
But again, part of what I struggled with is we were always so close to winning something, and it never quite happened. And I was so heavily invested, and then it gets taken away from you, and you witness everyone else starts like getting a bit of success, and I found that really difficult.
Yeah, no, I get
I was
that.
like, that could have been me, because without being too harsh to the lad that was in goal at Rushmere,
but it doesn't matter.
He was shit, and that's why they were keen for me to sign. Is they were like, look, we've got a great fucking team.
I hope he's listening to this.
Yeah,
he's straight on it now.
Yeah.
If you were the Rushmere goalkeeper at the time of year, make sure you drop him a little.
Yeah, drop me a message and tell me how shit you're not.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But I found that really difficult. And then, but fast forward to now, obviously I got involved with Verwood, got my purpose back, if you like, from a footballing perspective.
Yeah.
It was doing wonders for my mental health. But the biggest thing for me was I picked up an injury. It probably helped that I thought it was only going to be a couple of weeks. So I think if I'd known at the time it was going to be 4 months, that might have hit different. But
I don't know. I disagree on that because you worked hard. That wasn't your attitude. Never. So I was still the coach at the time. You didn't ever go, sorry, mate, I don't think I can do this. You came, you had treatment, you worked hard, you pushed yourself, you were doing things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You had that buzz back of, I'm going to get fit.
Well, not just that. I just threw myself into the team environment. I travelled to every game that I could
absolutely.
go to.
But you didn't have to do that.
I'm setting myself up to win a Clubman award at the end of the season. That's for sure. But for me, that was the biggest difference for me. Was the old me prior to my mental health issues would have very much taken the negative of that and been like, oh, I've made the decision to come out of retirement after 3 years. I've had my battles of injury, and like just when I'm starting to enjoy it, it happens again.
And that's the normal life thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is shit, negative,
and
negative.
I could easily have gone, no, this is what a fucking pile of shit, and spiraled. But actually, I just took stock of the positives.
Yeah.
Twice a week I was getting treatment from physios that I wasn't having to pay for. Lovely. I was with a great bunch of lads that had really good banter. I was getting out at weekends and stuff, like go into the games, and it just felt good to be amongst it.
Yeah.
And even like with this week, obviously I'll probably touch upon this more when I get Rob on, but obviously we had a big fucking change at Verwood. You left.
There's been big changes ongoing, hasn't there? So I left, manager left,
and then. So yeah, within the space of, well, it was a day, wasn't it? You messaged in the morning,
which I didn't actually know.
You were leaving.
Manager was going. I actually genuinely had no idea about that.
I don't think anybody knew, to be fair. And then so we lost the goalkeeper coach and the manager in the same day. Got a new manager in, and I got declared fit by the physios last week, and I was like, this is fucking great. Rob, who's been number one, he's been fucking brilliant, to be fair, so far this season. I was like, I'm gunning for him, and he let me know he's away next weekend and 2 weeks after that. So I was sat there going, I've got a run of probably 3 weeks where I can play and I can stake a real claim here. I'm now fully fit and I was feeling really great. And I get a phone call from the new manager on Tuesday, and he's like, so just so you know, we've signed a new goalie. And I was like, cool, what does that mean for me? It's like, well, he's going to play. I was like, well, that's not great, is it? On the basis that I'm number 2 at the moment. And if he's coming in and going straight into the team, that's number 3 at best. And again, the old me would have... I was in a shit mood on Tuesday.
Yeah, but people have every right to be in a shit mood when you get shit news. But when shit things happen, it can be shit.
Yeah, and you're allowed to.
Life is shit.
You're allowed for things to be shit. But I think what I really, again, upon reflection, what I did that I'm quite proud of myself, or particularly for someone with RSD, when you get a phone call and you get told that you're not even going to get an opportunity to show you're good enough, and you're just your third choice, and you're like, cool,
cheers, yeah,
didn't even play bad, didn't even play. The old me would have that would have been a massive catastrophe. I mean, that's why I started Wimborne, was because I fell out with the team I was playing for at the time, fell out with the manager, and I was like, do you know what, I don't want to be in a position where somebody else can just decide that I'm not playing because it suits their agenda. I was like, if I'm the manager, I play. So I started my own fucking team. Yeah. And but of course, obviously got the news this week after being really excited about the fact that I was going to be playing, that I won't be for some time. But I reacted proactively to it. I was really, I had a very frank conversation with the manager, and I said, completely respect your position, your decision. I'm not giving up on being the number one. However, I'm gonna assess my options, and I'm gonna do what's best for me. And we were almost due to play each other tomorrow
because yes, I'm back. I'm back running around like a headless chicken, and conveniently it's matched up. Yeah,
perfectly.
You're not quite there, are you? So that would have been
the team I'm going to. But
we could have had good filming of that, couldn't we?
That would have been great.
We're in the same league though, so hopefully.
Well, yeah. If this is the first time they play,
I'm assuming so.
I'll see you
because there's only been 5 or 6 games, so we'll see in the reverse fixture.
See you at the home game.
We'll get there if you're still fit.
It was that's the big thing. If
I'm still fit as well.
Yeah, we're both a bit broken, aren't we? But the thing that really I'm very like proud of myself off for this week is with RSD. It would have been so easy for me to have been like, I'm 37. This is the level of football politics that I can't be asked with. It's too much drama, and I could have just.
What you've done is you've taken the positives of the whole situation. Yes, you want to play football, I get it, but you've also gone, you know what, I love the staff, I love the players, I love the team, I love being part of it, and that's given you that outlet. That's the fun. You strip that away, which is what happens with people when we do start to get low, as we stop doing what we enjoy. We drink more because we think that that's the fun part. Drink makes it worse, and we're not having fun. It's people. You know, we feel better around people. I'm such a people person. Like, love is the best thing we do as humans, and it is. And I stick by that, and I tell everybody that, not just romantically, but friends. You need people around you, and the more people you have around you, the better your life will be. They don't need to be your best friend. They don't need to be, you know, you see them every day, but have collections of this group, that group, message people, group chats. They drive people mad, but they're brilliant. Because it's a constant flow of messages. You can chip in, and it just gets you heard.
100%.
And that's what I've loved this year, being involved in Verwood and different football teams. Gone to Portown Ladies, and some of the girls have been messaging me daily for helps and tips, or just chatting to me. And as a friendly basis, I've made so many good friends that never in a million years would have thought that they would be my friends, and how would I meet them?
They're just paths that wouldn't normally cross. No. And again, I think it just sort of adds sort of credibility to that statement. This isn't us saying that if you're not in a great place with your mental health that you need to go and join a sports team or something, but put yourself into situations where there is a social element where you're going to meet new people, because honestly you could turn up to something that you're almost dreading and being like, I'm not sure about this, and it could be the best thing for you. I was nervous as shit before that first training session with Verwood, because obviously I played like a little bit of six-a-side and stuff, but I hadn't stepped foot on a football pitch for 3 years, and I was like, this could go one of two ways. I'll either settle in straight away, or it'll be a car crash. And the biggest thing for me is, by the end of the session, I didn't even care how I was actually playing. It was just being amongst like 20 odd lads, giving each other shit, calling each other cunts, having a laugh at each other. The minute somebody made a mistake, like everyone piling in to have a joke, and I was like, this is what I've missed. That's what I've missed, is that just that sense of like belonging somewhere where you're like, yeah, do you know what, this is hilarious.
You would look forward to doing it, don't you? Just to have a laugh. Yeah
100%. And I think it's so important putting yourself into those positions. The easiest thing to do when you're struggling, like you said, is to isolate, is to stop doing the things that make you feel good. But actually, if you're not in a great place, the most important thing to do is the things that make you feel good.
It's also the things that you're finding hardest to do. You've got to, you just got to jump. You've got to jump. And the best thing I did this year is I went on holiday on my own. Because it was fuck it, I've got to talk to people. I can't just sit there like a hermit. I can't mope around. I've got to go, and I wandered around. Great thing. I now go for meals on my own. I go coffees on my own and things, and I'm quite comfortable with that. And I say hi to people. And what I do want to do is talk more to other people now, like we used to do in the olden days. You actually say hi to people. But I think you've got to put yourself out there. And like you said, you don't know who you meet. You might say hi to a few people and nothing happens, but you never know. You say hi to the right person that leads to a work opportunity, leads to a friendship, that leads to whatever.
100%.
And that's what we don't do enough now in the world. It's all straight on Instagram, scroll, algorithms picked up, you're depressed as hell. Every video is depression. That drags you down more.
Or it's fucking sending you every fucking highlight reel going. Like, oh yeah, you feel like your life's shit, but here's a load of people whose lives aren't shit, just to make you feel worse.
That's the world now, isn't it? If people sit and mope on Instagram and the TikTok, whatever, and watch the videos that it picks up, it knows exactly what's going on in your life, and it just drags you down. Get on out there. That's my advice to anybody. Have conversations,
and it doesn't need to be the classic, oh, you need to talk about your feelings. It doesn't. Just have a fucking chat. Like, just have a chat. Talk about shit, stuff that don't matter. Talk about the football. Talk about the weather. Talk about anything. Just have some interaction with people, because it makes a big difference. And as people with ADHD, we're always chasing the next hit of dopamine, because we don't get sort of the neurotypical responses to such things, so we're always striving for it. But honestly, there is nothing better than just being amongst people who are having a good time.
This is it.
And just get involved, because if you're amongst other people having a good time and you're not getting involved, that will make you feel worse.
Yeah.
Get involved.
That's it. People don't care.
Yeah.
That's what the things we're brought up in the world now, where you think people care. People don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Anything.
People do not give a fuck about anything but themselves.
So many people are more weird now. So many more people have ADHD.
Yeah.
And people want to meet more people like that. You know, be the one that's dancing on the table.
Yeah.
Be the one that's pissed drunk with too many shots in their hands.
Yeah.
Because people love those people.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, they love the weird ones.
That just reminds me of one of the Christmas do's that we had at Wimborne, where we were in the Slug and Lettuce in Bournemouth, and we had like loads of different challenges and stuff. It's me and Mayfield had to get on a chair, and we were in two rival teams, and to get the point, you had to sing in the middle of the Slug and Lettuce. This is Saturday night in Bournemouth, lead up to Christmas. I get on a fucking table.
Yeah.
And I start singing Wham! Last Christmas, to the point where everyone's joining in, not just like the lads from football, but all the people in there are just their attention is shifted from their night, and they were like, "There's a guy on a table singing Wham!"
It's because the attention of the night is everyone's bored.
Yeah,
everyone's waiting for someone to do something. That's all it is.
And it was fucking brilliant. What made it even better is Mayfield shit the bed afterwards, stood on a chair and just shouted the phrase "It's Christmas" at the top of his lungs, which is very anticlimactic, but it emphasises the point that you made. People won't judge you if you're not drinking. People won't judge you if what you're doing is left field. They'll judge you if you're just not getting involved.
Mm-hmm.
And the best thing that you can do for your own sanity, your own mental health, and your own ability to have a good night is throw yourself into it.
Yeah, even not at night, just life.
Well, yeah, just life.
Be different.
Throw yourself into it. Dive in head first. Like, try and be what you want to be. Be happy. Do the shit that makes you feel good. Like, fall in love quickly. Make friends and bin people off in rapid time. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Just fucking experience life, because it's the only way that you're going to get anywhere. If you think back to when we were all kids and you go to school, we all turn up to school on the first day, or preschool, wherever it is, in exactly the same position. That the only people you know in your life is your family, it's your parents, and if you've got siblings, they're the only people you fucking know. And you turn up to school on the first day, you don't fucking know anyone. Everyone's in the same boat. But what happens? Within a few weeks, you've made a group of friends that you think are the coolest, the funniest, the best people on the fucking planet.
Yeah.
Before you went there, midway through August, you didn't even know those cunts existed.
No.
You had no fucking clue. By the way, we're hour and 12 in. That's the first time I said cunt.
No, we've had two. We had a cunt earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I say it so often. Yeah, say it so often. I don't even know it's been said now. But you didn't know any of those people. And now all of a sudden they're like the centre of your universe. And if you're lucky enough to go through all the same schools all the way through, they are people that you're going to know right the way up until you go to uni or go and get a job, whatever. And how do you achieve that? You just get involved. You just start playing in the playground. You just start messing around in the classroom, whatever it is. And you just go, oh, that person seems pretty cool. And you just make friends. Yeah. And life is no different.
But that's the excuse that people say, well, how do I meet people? But it's like you said earlier, go to clubs, go to classes, just try something new to meet other people.
There will be things that every single person listening to this, there will be a list of things that they'll think to themselves, oh, I wish I'd done that before. I wish I'd started this. I wish I'd tried that. Fucking go and do it.
Don't do it.
Go and do it.
This is it.
Literally go and do it. Like, and speaking from experience, I genuinely didn't think I would play 11-a-side football ever again. And you could argue that 45 minutes in pre-season doesn't constitute
it's coming.
Playing it again. Coming. But the simple fact is, I've met some incredible people over the last few months.
Yeah.
My mental health is in a much stronger place. I'm enjoying playing football. I'm looking forward to going to training twice a week. I'm taking better care of myself. And why?
What a life
Because
shift.
you said to me in a golf lesson, Ver would need a keeper, and I was naive enough to think that I could do it.
There you go.
But I took the. I nearly didn't. I didn't go to the session that day, and that was mostly an anxiety thing. I was a bit in my head. I was like, I don't know if I feel ready. But the following week, I made sure I went.
Yep.
And I've never. I mean, I was late, which didn't help. But I've never been more nervous. A 37-year-old man going to do something that I've done literally since I was in first school.
Yeah.
and I was shitting myself. Oh, what if I can't do it anymore? I've literally done it since the age of 4. And in my head, I was like, what if I'm no good?
Also, it doesn't matter if you couldn't do it. It doesn't matter if you weren't any good. You come along, you meet people, and you enjoy yourself.
And get called a cunt and you go home again.
There you go. But that's it. I think people are so worried, aren't they? I'm not going to be good at it.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. No one will talk to me. But people will.
Yeah.
If not, go and talk to them. Just say a quick hello can lead to anything. And that is it. So many people now are just wandering around. They're so nervous, aren't they? If they don't want to just say hi.
People would sooner slide into the DMs than actually just have a conversation. But the funny thing is, you'll be way more successful in life in terms of achieving positive outcomes by actually speaking to people.
And it can be hi.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be a special chat. Like, it doesn't need to be exciting. It's just explaining what it is.
Yeah, you don't have to have it all figured out.
No.
I can never remember who said it. In my head, it's Martin Luther King. Could be somebody completely fucking different. But you don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. And we get so bogged down in wanting to have everything mapped out, have all the answers, have everything there to be able to. Before I do anything, I need to know. No, just fucking do it.
It's that back to the end goal, isn't it? Of you want to. It's like being in a forest. You're at the start and you've got to get to the end, but you're so stressed out about getting to the end. It's one step at a time. If you just keep moving your feet forward, you will find your way out.
Yeah.
Not going, oh, I've got to do this, got to do that. It's just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
One step, and you'll lead to so many opportunities. You might find a helicopter to fly out of there.
Well, this is the thing. Like, you don't know how quickly you can achieve things until you start.
That's it.
There's so much power and importance to that, and I think people get, understandably, but I think people get paralysed by not having all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
That you get that paralysis by analysis when you've got too many options, but also when you haven't got enough options, people go, oh, I couldn't make a decision. I mean, I went fucking self-employed, and if I spoke to, and I've spoken about this on many of the podcasts, but if I spoke to Kelly and said, I'm going to give my notice in, do you think I should? She would have said, no, don't do it. That's a stupid thing.
Yeah.
But I was in a position where I was like, do you know what? I feel like if I don't take this step, my business wouldn't have achieved what it has, and it wouldn't have been able to. But I was also fairly convinced that because of changes beyond my control, the business being sold to a much larger company, I felt like my job was under threat.
Yeah, that's it.
So what do you do in that situation? What if I just stuck it out? I could have rocked up to work one day and been told, hey, you've got a month's notice, and then what? Well, I'm not prepared for anything.
It's the ifs and buts of life, isn't it?
Yeah. But instead I was like, I'm not going to wait to find out that I don't have a job. I'm gonna make a fucking decision and just commit to it. I didn't have all the answers. I didn't know if it was going to work out. I just went, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
No.
And my business now looks completely different to how I thought it would look at the time. But and your businesses would be exactly the same.
Yeah.
But
I've had failed businesses that I've set up and things that haven't worked and things that have, and you figure it out and you do it. And that's the thing. People are so scared of failing that they go, what if I do and it doesn't work? Well, it won't work.
Yeah.
So you just try again. You learn from that and do it again.
The first time you do anything, you'll be shit at it, but that's not a reason not to do it.
No.
Because by trying and by being shit, you start to recognise why you were shit. And then you can make changes to be less shit.
Yep.
And that's, how do you achieve happiness? Well, to be honest with you, just keep trying to be happy. You're going to get it wrong 90% of the time, but actually if you just keep trying, at some point you're going to find things that make you feel good.
I think you enjoy doing things wrong.
Sitting in front of a camera and calling people cunts on the internet. It's given me a real purpose.
You're loving it, aren't you? No, enjoy doing things wrong.
Yeah.
That is how we learn. That is literally
you learned as a kid.
You can't do things right after right because you don't appreciate the good things. Then it's get it wrong, get tits up, have an absolute stinker.
Yeah.
It will stress you out. It might cost you financially, it might do this, but you will bounce back. Things don't just continue to spiral as we've been speaking about the whole time here. It's find the issue, deal with the issue, jump in the deep end.
Yeah.
And make it work, and sometimes just have a break from life.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
100%. 100%. It's Batman Begins, isn't it? Michael Caine. Why is it we must fall, Master Bruce, so that we can learn to fly?
There you go.
I don't even know if that's a direct quote, but
I think that's pretty simple. Yeah, I think you're about there. Yeah,
pretty bang on. Yeah. I've always used that phrase and claimed it's Michael Caine, one of my many good impressions.
Yeah, but it is, and at 11 you have to fail. You have to. Yeah. You've got to learn from it, and that is how we just keep growing. Everyone that is successful haven't done everything correctly. They've actually been ballsed up more than you could ever imagine.
Yeah,
every single.
You hear about it all the time, and people normally say it from a negative perspective, and then they refer to people that have made millions and billions in their life. Oh, he's been bankrupt 9 times, lucky cunt. Well, no, he's not lucky. He's just each time it's gone wrong, he's gone. Oh, I didn't. Well, let's try something else.
Tried it, yeah. Rather than quit and give up. And,
and again, this is something I always say to my clients, and from a fitness perspective, but from a life perspective, the only way you can get to where you want to get to is you've got to keep going. Yeah. It's a journey at the end of the day. If you keep moving forwards, 1 mile an hour in the right direction is going to get you to where you want to be far more successfully than 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction. And if your response to things not quite going to plan is, fuck it, I'll give up and I won't try again, you won't achieve anything. You will get stuck in scenarios and situations that you don't want to be in. But there's a reason why you always hear success stories about people who, Colonel Sanders was like 70 when he launched KFC, and J.K. Rowling, for all of her flaws, was in her 50s when she put out when she wrote the first Harry Potter book on a napkin. Like, people, it comes back to what we said earlier. Things can change in the blink of a fucking eye.
You wouldn't even know it, would you, half the time there? Yeah. They didn't do those things thinking, I'm going to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a millionaire. They've just started
doing.
She's written a book and gone, good book. She hasn't ever thought it was going to be as big as what it was.
No, absolutely.
Yes, we could all dream of it, but it's that knock-on domino effect. Yeah, it worked.
It's the snowball analogy, isn't it? You've got to give it its first little push at the top of the hill, and it will be small at the top of the hill, but if that thing picks up momentum, by the time it gets to the bottom of the mountain, it's a fucking avalanche, and you killed millions of people. No, but the point remains: it's everything starts small, and it's got to build and compound.
Yeah,
but the only way you get there is you've got to put yourself in a position where you might be successful, but you're prepared to fail in order to have a chance of being successful. The same, you've got to put yourself in a position where you might be uncomfortable and you might experience negativity in order to achieve positivity.
That's what I like, is put yourself in uncomfortable positions.
Yeah.
Because in life we're so wrapped up in, I'm not good at that, I don't want to do that, I don't feel comfortable, so I won't do it, rather than do it, because that will lead to something so different. We all live our routines, which is the same, and we all moan that nothing changes, so you've got to change your routine.
Yeah.
And the only way to doing that is doing something uncomfortable.
And there's a lot of things that will be really difficult to change. Again, you're stuck in a job and what have you. Yes, a lot of people live to work, unfortunately, but at the same time
we've got bills to pay, so sadly we do have to go to work. So
but at the same time, if there's things you're not happy with, you don't need to change it all overnight, but you can take the first step. You can put things in place. I started coaching people alongside my full-time job about 18 months before I went, right, I'm going all in. I'm going full ham. You can do things. You can take steps, and again, if you're not in a great place from a mental health perspective, which is predominantly the message behind this episode, is nobody's happy being unhappy. But genuinely believe that. Even the people that seem to really like negativity, they're not happy in that situation. Everybody wants to be happy.
There's the good one of nobody fakes being unhappy, everyone fakes being happy.
Yeah. But the key to being happy is you're the one that controls it. It's an emotion like any other. You can cultivate it. And the way to do it is not by trying to go from where you are to being the happiest person in the world in the blink of an eye. It's by recognising that just do something positive and let it build from there.
That is it.
What a lovely final thought. Anything
I think
from
that's
you,
a good
mate?
one, mate. I'm going to leave it on that one because you've passed out the park on that one.
That was very profound. I'm a philosophizer. It's a technical term.
Yep, that's the one. You ruined your ending now.
Yeah, I did. But mate, that's been a pleasure.
No, it's been good. It's good to chat it all out, and it's been nice, and hopefully that's a benefit to anyone listening as well. And that's I know you don't do this chat, for you obviously we do it for your business and things, but it's also to help people and guide people and share stories from different exciting people that you've had on. So I appreciate being here. And obviously, if anyone does need help or wants advice, I'm more than happy to answer messages as you are.
Yeah, I was literally going to say the exact same thing.
It's fine. I don't mind people sliding in and, asking of how we've coped with things and, what direction to take of things. It doesn't need to be I need help. It can be, talk about golf, we can talk football, we can talk beer, we can talk how did you get through these things.
Yeah, 100%. And I was going to say exactly the same thing. Anyone listening to this, if you're in a position where you're not happy with where you are, whether it's with your mental health, whether it's work related, whatever it is, neither of us are going to claim to have all the answers. But if you feel like you're struggling and you want somebody to speak to, just drop a message in. And it doesn't have to be to one of us. It could be that you message that one friend that you've got that you can speak to about anything. It could be that you message your mum, your dad, your brother, your sister, whoever it is, your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband. It could be anyone. But if you're not in the greatest place at the moment, the worst thing you can do is choose to sit with it and not make a positive step. So if it's easier to speak to a stranger, if it's easier to speak to somebody you don't fully know, both of our inboxes are always open. Just drop a DM in. We can't claim to have all the answers, but at the very least we can share our experiences. And that's why I do the podcast. That's why I do what I do. It's about putting information out just to help people. If it helps one person, then it was worth it.
Perfect. Absolutely that. 100%.
But thank you everyone for listening. It's good to be back for a second series. Make sure you like and share and subscribe and all that stuff, and we will see you on the next one. But Harry, thank you, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Mine's pretty much run dry. I think it's just melted ice now, but it's been a pleasure, and we will see you on the next one.